Join me as I challenge myself to share a powerful Bible verse every single day this week to keep us all inspired and motivated. Today, I want to talk about the transformative power of Bible verses in our daily lives. I believe that these verses have the ability to motivate us, to inspire us, and to help us overcome the challenges we face. Life can be tough, and it's easy to get discouraged. We all face struggles that can make us feel like giving up. Sometimes it's the people around us. Sometimes it's our own self-doubt. And sometimes it's just the circumstances we're in. We may feel overwhelmed, stuck, or just plain lost. We may feel like we're not good enough, or that we're not doing enough. We may try to motivate ourselves with inspirational quotes or self-help books, but sometimes those things just don't cut it. We need something deeper, something that speaks to our souls. That's where Bible verses come in. These verses are more than just words on a page. They're living, breathing words of encouragement and motivation. We may struggle with fear, anxiety, or uncertainty. We may struggle with feeling like we're not living up to our potential. We may struggle with feeling like we're not loved or that we're not enough. Whatever our struggle is, there's a Bible verse that can speak directly to it. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8 says, "The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged." When we're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, this verse reminds us that God is always with us, always going before us, and always watching over us. Philippians 4 verse 13 says, "I can do all this through him who gives me strength." This verse reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles. We have a God who gives us the strength we need to overcome. Psalm 23 verse 4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me." This verse reminds us that even in the darkest of times, God is always with us, guiding us and comforting us. I remember a time in my life when I was going through a really tough season. I was feeling lost and alone, and I didn't know how to keep going. But one day, I stumbled upon Romans 8 verse 28, which says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." This verse changed everything for me. It reminded me that no matter what I was going through, God was working everything out for my good. It gave me the motivation I needed to keep going. Even when things seemed impossible, it reminded me that I was not alone and that God was working everything out for my good. It gave me hope, and it gave me the strength I needed to keep moving forward. The Bible is full of verses like these, verses that remind us of God's love, God's presence, and God's power in our lives. These verses have the power to motivate us, to inspire us, and to help us overcome the challenges we face. Let's recap the verses we've discussed today. We've talked about Deuteronomy 31 verse 8, Philippians 4 verse 13, Psalm 23 verse 4, and Romans 8 verse 28. These verses remind us that God is always with us, that he gives us strength, that he comforts us, and that he works everything out for our good. I want to encourage you to take these verses and make them a part of your daily routine. Write them down, memorize them, and speak them out loud. Let them be the motivation you need to keep going, even when things get tough. What's your favorite Bible verse? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more motivational content.